Say hello to the all-new Alexa Plus and see how Alexa can do so much more for you. Need tickets to see your favorite artist? Craving your comfort restaurant? Just sit back, relax, and talk naturally. Alexa's on it. It learns your style, anticipates what's next, and makes it happen across Echo, Fire TV, and more. Learn more at amazon.com/new Alexa.
Hi, I'm here to pick up my son Milo.
There's no Milo here.
Who picked up my son from school?
Streaming only on Peacock.
I'm gonna need the name of everyone that could have a connection.
You don't understand. It was just the 5 of us.
So this was all planned.
What are you gonna do? I will do whatever it takes to get my son back.
I honestly didn't see this coming. These nice people killing each other.
All Her Fault. A new series streaming now only on Peacock.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
Wicked. Absolutely wicked. Just almost 7 minutes into the holiday. And look at what has overshadowed Thanksgiving. Look at what we as a country are now forced to talk about. No, these aren't just headlines, folks. Dominic Carter here with you. 800-848-9222. These are fellow human beings fighting for life itself on the operating table as we speak right now. Americans, guardians of this nation, shot, targeted because of pure evil, because of a man that came around a corner in D.C. and opened fire. If we don't speak up now, when will we? The mayor of D.C. stunned, shaken, and searching for answers.
Validate the need for the National Guard here in D.C.
What we know, Andrea, is that this is a targeted shooting. One individual who appeared to target these guardsmen, that individual has been taken into custody.
Targeted. So the media is scrambling still at this hour, trying to narrate what should have never been allowed to happen. And perhaps the most insulting part, this didn't come from nowhere. It didn't fall out of the sky, folks. This came from decisions, from policies, from recklessness. Biden's Operation Allies Welcome. The policy that let Afghan nationals into this country, only for this to be the outcome. Thank you for nothing, President Biden. Tom Costello on NBC Nightly News.
So 2 senior law enforcement sources tell NBC News that the FBI is now looking at the very distinct possibility this was an act of terrorism. The suspect, an Afghan national. This was a targeted attack, a horrific attack, with the aftermath caught on camera. Terror in the heart of Washington, D.C., just 2 blocks from the White House.
This is a targeted shooting. One individual who appeared to target these guardsmen.
Video captured the moments police and National Guard troops subdued a suspect while a few feet away performing CPR on someone who's down.
And so there you have it, Tom Costello on Nightly News. So we're going to begin with your telephone calls in just a second. How did we get here? How did we reach this moment when, as Americans, safety feels optional? Accountability feels negotiable. Are we serious here? The left told us everything would be fine. Remember, they mocked our concerns. They silenced warnings. I want you to listen to this. This is Don Lemon. I want you to listen to this clown, Don Lemon, formerly of CNN, that, if you will, has, I don't want to put this all on him, but he certainly didn't help the situation.
Black people, brown people of all stripes, whether you're an Indian American or a Mexican American or whoever you are, go out in your place where you live and get a gun legally, get a license to carry legally. Because when you have people knocking on your door and taking you away without due process as a citizen, isn't that what the Second Amendment was written for?
Wow. Let's start with your telephone calls. We see all the calls coming in. 800-848-9222. Will, line 1, upstate New York. Good morning, Will. On this Thanksgiving Day, what's on your mind?
Thanks for taking my call, Dominic.
Go right ahead, Will.
Thanksgiving to you and your family.
Same to you.
It's very sad. I mean, we have a great president, and yet he's being treated so badly. It's amazing. I can't believe it. It's horrible. He's done a lot for people, more than any president in my lifetime. And I'm 73. He's done more, except for JFK was a good president as a child. But other than that, he's done a lot of good for people. And they just like...
Hey, Will, I agree with you. But unfortunately, it's the same old tired record in terms of it's all in the eyes of the beholder. The left will tell you that he's done nothing. I agree 1,000% with what you just said. But I need you to understand how those on the left see it. They just don't like the man. They will never like the man. They have tried to undermine all of his policies, especially his criminal justice initiatives, especially the National Guard coming in. And it's been one of the best things that he has done. But they're never going to see it, Will, the way that you and I do. Go right ahead.
And he's done, really good for more than anybody. I think he's better than Reagan was. To tell you the truth, he's done more for working class people than anybody. And yet, I don't get it. I think people are very jealous of him because he was born in a wealthy family and they're jealous. A lot of it because he's got that sarcastic personality and they can't deal with it. But he's a great president.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. I want to thank you very much for the call, Will. And I'm very saddened that on Thanksgiving, because we were on the air, the earlier show, the 3 p.m. show when this broke, and we broke in with breaking news 2 or 3 times, and we were hoping that it was not exactly what has turned out here in this situation. Will, thank you for the call. Let's go to Bill, line 3, Bayside. Bill, what's on your mind?
Hey, Dominic, how you doing?
Good. Go right ahead, please.
Dominic, I'd like to say, when is enough that American lives are being spilt their blood for votes and their bad policies, them letting them in, they're here for one reason, and law and order has been thrown out the door with the criminals and now with the migrants doing this. This was a planned attack. This guy is in the country illegal. And this is what they do. They're burning
No. Why do you say he was in the country illegal? He was not.
It said it. I saw it.
He was led in the country by Biden.
Well, Biden, yes. And
but that's not illegal.
Biden.
That's not illegal.
Well, one thing
it was a U.S. policy. It was a policy of the Biden administration, the same Biden administration where when we talk about Afghanistan, we lost those 13 soldiers at the airport in Afghanistan and that botched operation. So he wasn't here illegally. He was here courtesy of President Joe Biden.
Okay. And this is their policies that have gone crazy, and these people don't want to assimilate. They tell you time after time they hate this country. They burn our flag, and that's an act of war when you burn another country's flag. It's not a protest. They're telling you they want to burn the country to the ground. It needs to stop, and it needs to stop now because they take an oath and swear to protect the people of the country and the nation, and they're not doing anything. How they're left to stay in office, I often ask myself, well, what would the greatest generation think? What they gave, and they gave of their lives.
Okay,
to see
hey
what
Bill, but
into.
it's like,
yes, sir.
Hey Bill, but it's like some of you are not hearing me. I agree with everything you said.
Thank you.
Half the country feels just the opposite.
I know.
And half the country hates our great president, who will go down in history as perhaps the greatest president ever. But we have to understand that, because we keep racking our heads up against the wall, not understanding that half the country, for whatever reason, feel that the country's going in the wrong direction. Bill, thank you for the call. On this Thanksgiving Day, a horrible day, a way to start Thanksgiving. And it makes you wonder, because the NYPD here in New York City is on standby. Guess what happens in the morning, folks? The Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. If that can happen in D.C., and that's why it's called terrorism, because none of us know if we're next. None of us know. Now, we know these soldiers were targeted from West Virginia because of the great uniform that they wear. But none of us know. You know, you turn around the corner and if it's an act of terrorism, none of us know if these nuts plan on harming people at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Remember, folks, that's just hours from now. Large gatherings. Let's go to Sandra, New Jersey. Sandra, good morning on this Thanksgiving Day.
Well, Dominic, good morning. I wanted to say to you that I'm very, very grateful to you. I love you. I'm grateful that you're in this life.
Well, thank you. Feelings mutual. Thank you.
And I'm grateful that you will say things that most people are afraid to admit. So happy Thanksgiving to you. I wish you a wonderful day today. And this news tonight, it's like, so what else is new? This is not good. I don't understand. When is it going to stop? Is it ever going to stop?
It's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. And you know, Sandra, you know why it's going to stop? Not going to stop? Because why? President Biden made a big mistake. They showed the entire world weakness from America. And now these other people, they want to see weakness. They want to just trample over all of us as Americans. And then you have someone like Trump come along, and this president, and we hope that he's protected forever. This president says, over my dead body, will you walk over Americans?
Right.
And so it's just awful. It's absolutely awful.
So Dominic, so what do we do over this? I mean, we can't keep always talking. One thing happens and another thing. It's like, so what else is new? What do we do? Do we just continue to take this and just move on, and this is the way it's going to be? Something has to be done.
It's a great question, Sandra. We've got to get tougher policies. We've got to stop this. America is going to take care of the entire world. That's one of the number one reasons why one of the number one reasons why President Trump was elected, on America first, And so we've got a number of things we've got to do. We've got to somehow reach our friends, I don't know how, on the left, and get them to stop this blindness of supporting these policies. Let's face it, those on the left, they want free. Government take care of everybody. Nobody knows where all this money is going to come from. They don't want any law enforcement. And then you have people like the Congresswoman from Texas, Jasmine Crockett, and AOC. I'm sorry. These people are cancers on society. It really is that simple. Sandra, thank you for the call. I hope you have a great Thanksgiving. Folks, I've got to take a break. When I come back, I'm going to be doing a quick segment on another topic, other things going on, and then we'll come right back to more of your telephone calls.
The Dominic Carter Show
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
Well, Democrats, prior to today's incident in the nation's capital, not far from the White House, Democrats shrugged, dismissed, labeled the truth as fear-mongering. And now we have this situation. So I just spent the last 40 minutes. This is not to say that the mayor-elect of New York doesn't have a statement, but I just spent the last 40 minutes trying to find a statement from the mayor-elect of New York City on this shooting. Now, maybe there's one that I didn't locate, but I haven't been able to find it as of yet. And if my guess is correct, why is it that New York's new mayor, when he won the election night, he said, effective tonight, New York has new leadership. He is essentially the mayor of New York, even though he doesn't take office for another month. Why doesn't he have a statement out as of yet? So I'm going to take a wait-and-see approach to see if he has something to say about this, because it confirms all the worst fears of why Mamdani should have never been elected mayor of New York City. Let's go to line one. Connie, Long Island. What's on your mind, Connie, on this Thanksgiving morning?
Hey, Dominic. Don't expect anything from Mamdani. He's not going to say anything. But I just want to say that get used to this terrorist activity with people just going and blowing people away. It's sad. It's horrific. But thanks to Joe Biden, we're going to see this again and again and again. That's how I feel.
You know, Connie, I know that the ultimate prize in politics is the presidency. And I remember those campaigns when Biden was a joke, a complete joke. Some may make the argument his presidency was a complete joke. But I mean, as a candidate, and it was believed that he was never going to make it to the White House.
I agree. I felt the same way.
And he got there pandering to the black community, finding an incompetent vice president whose only qualification was her skin color and the fact that she was pretty. And he rode that all the way to the White House. But look at the damage that all of us have been left with. We collectively have got to clean up his mess. And to your point, I'm just hoping that the Thanksgiving Day parade goes off without a problem. There'll be 1 million police officers out there. Mayor Adams has already said that, and the police commissioner, she has said they're stepping up activity and watching for the parade. I mean, you should have had the balloon blow up tonight. I don't know if it actually happened, but the parade is in the morning. The parade is in the morning. And to your point, none of us know when the next attack is going to happen. Connie, you have the final word.
Well, you're absolutely right. And I just think it's going to happen again and again. We're going to have unless something dramatically changes, they're already here. The terrorists are already here.
Yes, they are.
Just like in Israel, you'll see some guy go in with a bomb into some cafe or something and this and that. All this stuff, don't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing stuff like that.
Well, what I'd be surprised about, Connie, and thank you for the call, Mayor-elect Mamdani, where is your statement condemning this attack? We're coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
And we are back. 800-848-9222. You know, folks, what I'm thinking about is because silence basically is consent. None of us can afford to be silent because this is unbelievable. We are, 35 minutes into what should be a day of gratitude and peace, and here we are. Instead of talking about family, unity, blessings, we're talking about violence, we're talking about terror. And to give you an idea, it's mind-blowing. I'm going to read to you a tweet, and then I'm blocking this individual immediately because I don't have time nor patience for this. And I'm going to be real with you for a moment. Most of my colleagues, they just completely ignore what you post on social media, good or bad. They don't care. They generally don't look at it. Boom. That's not me. That's not me. That's not Dominic Carter. If you think I'm going to give you a platform on my page to attack me, you're going to meet Mr. Block real fast. That doesn't mean that I'm only interested in positive comments. I take constructive criticism, I think, better than most. But you're not going to get a platform on my page for your ignorance. Someone by the name of Brooklyn Mind, and I think this is a real person, Brooklyn Mind, because sometimes it's not. Brooklyn Mind just said, quote, I believe Brooklyn Mind is talking about me. Your stupid blame of anyone besides the shooter is exactly why this country is doomed. I'm embarrassed by how dumb you are. No, Brooklyn Mind, I'm embarrassed by you, and you have been blocked immediately. You can say whatever you want about me. You can knock yourself silly with criticism, but it won't be on my page. I assure you of that. And guess what? If it's not on my page and it's just on your page, that means no one's going to see it. Good luck with that, Brooklyn Mind. Good luck with that. So you want to know why we're in the position that we are in, folks? It's real simple. It's real simple to understand why we are dealing with this type of situation. I want you to listen to Democrat leaders and activists, right? They really have claimed this, that the National Guard is, quote, rounding black people up and putting them in detainment camps.
We believe that the National Guard and the military occupation is the first step into rounding black people up and putting them in detainment camps here in Washington, D.C. and around the United States of America. We believe that.
And I believe you're downright stupid and trifling, and you need to go sit down somewhere and get educated. That's what I believe. ABC, the moment this happened, blamed President Trump's immigration policies.
A focus will turn to whether these guardsmen were specifically targeted. If that's the case, it would fit with what we've been hearing from law enforcement officials for a number of months now, that some political flashpoints in the country, whether that's immigration policies by the administration, the ongoing Israel-Hamas conflict, even amid a tenuous ceasefire, those kinds of flashpoints have made people in uniform, be they military, law enforcement, government officials, people in uniform, have increasingly been targets, and that is going to be one focus of the investigation going forward, Kira.
And so I'm looking at my Twitter. Let's go Pitt. Coach said, yes, Dominic, the balloons have been inflated. In fact, there was so much hot air coming from the likes of Jen Psaki, Gavin Newsom, etc., that the balloons were inflated in record time. And so what would happen in years past, this would occur tonight. So I don't know if it actually did happen tonight, but it's a spectacle, a positive one for children. People bring their families from around the country, around the world, to see the balloons blown up for the parade, and maybe I should use a different word rather than blown up, but to see the balloons inflated for the parade in the morning. The Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade is within hours. None of us know what can happen. We can only hope for the best. We see your calls coming in, but President Trump spoke tonight. I want you to hear a bit of what he had to say.
My great fellow Americans, earlier today, on the eve of the Thanksgiving holiday, 2 members of the National Guard serving in Washington, D.C., were shot at point-blank range in a monstrous ambush-style attack just steps away from the White House. They had been deputized as part of the most successful public safety and national security mission in the history of our nation's capital, the D.C. Safe and Beautiful Task Force, which has achieved an unprecedented reduction in violent crime and crimes of all type. This heinous assault was an act of evil, an act of hatred, and an act of terror. It was a crime against our entire nation. It was a crime against humanity. The hearts of all Americans tonight are with those two members of the West Virginia National Guard and their families. The love of our entire country is pouring out for them, and we are lifting them up in our prayers. As we are filled with anguish and grief for those who were shot, we're also filled with righteous anger and ferocious resolve. As President of the United States, I am determined to ensure that the animal who perpetrated this atrocity pays the steepest possible price. I can report tonight that based on the best available information, the Department of Homeland Security is confident that the suspect in custody is a foreigner who entered our country from Afghanistan, a hellhole on earth. He was flown in by the Biden administration in September 2021 on those infamous flights that everybody was talking about. Nobody knew who was coming in. Nobody knew anything about it. His status was extended under legislation signed by President Biden, a disastrous president, the worst in the history of our country. This attack underscores the single greatest national security threat facing our nation.
Let's hope and pray for the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Only hours away now for everything to go well with the parade. We just don't know. That's why it's called terrorism. You don't know when it's coming, how it's coming, but we know it's coming. And the Biden administration and Mayorkas, they should be ashamed of themselves. Mayorkas actually said he was proud of this operation. Again, I'll repeat, remember what happened at the airport in Afghanistan. 13 American soldiers lost their lives. And now we deal with a situation like this. Let's see here. Let's go to Sal, line 5 in Franklin Square. Sal, what's on your mind? Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family.
Happy Thanksgiving. I love the show. I'm just calling basically the rhetoric from the Democrats. I feel like it's just one-sided. And after Charlie Kirk, all these issues happening, basically, do you believe after the situation in Afghanistan, you think there's going to be more incidents happening? Or this is after 2 days, the Democrats are going to go back with the rhetoric again with this situation?
Well, on CNN tonight, they're already blaming President Trump's immigration policies. I don't know how this stops, but they're going to get more people murdered because
I believe there's a target on law enforcement and also,
absolutely
the National Guard. Unfortunately,
absolutely. And see what they're trying to do, and what this savage from Afghanistan is trying to do. This was clearly timed to mess up everybody's Thanksgiving. And to a degree, he's been successful with me. I have to admit this to you, Sal, because I'm in today, dayside. Well, so right now we're national, but at 3 p.m., my regular daytime show, but my colleague, Bo Snerdley, has Thanksgiving off. And so it normally would be a great time for me to have numerous phone calls. I'll be on between 3 and 5 in just a short time, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern time. And I was looking forward to talking about anything and everything, politics to turkey, policies to stuffing, sports to cranberry sauce. I was really looking forward to it. And now I'm sitting here, to be honest with you, Sal, and I'm praying to God to give me the words of what I should say in a broadcast that may make people feel better. And so this savage who, the president is right. He said Afghanistan a hellhole on earth. And then you take this loser and people like him and bring him to America where he can mess up our way of life. How is that helping? And I'm asking you, Sal, before I go to the next call. How is that helping the American people? They left people in Afghanistan that had been spies and worked with the American government. Left them there. But you bring this lowlife to America?
Unfortunately,
how is that representing us, Sal?
He's not benefiting us. My last question, please, is how do you think Mayor Mandami would handle a situation like this if it, God forbid we had an issue in New York City?
Silence is golden. Silence is golden. And I don't want to speak out of turn with the mayor-elect, but we have looked to see if he's had a statement about this incident. So please tell me, Mr. Mayor-elect, that you're not going to be a phony, and when it's something that's pro-Muslim, you're going to have a lot to say, but when it's anti-American, as it relates to terror, you're going to go silent. Please tell me that's not the case, Mr. Mayor-elect, because where is your statement tonight? You are now a national leader in the Democrat Party, and zip de nada, nothing from the mayor-elect. Nothing about, you have the mayor of D.C., yes, it's her home territory, commenting about this, but where's the mayor-elect of New York City? Sal, thank you for the great call. Let's go to Steve in New Jersey, line 2. Steve, happy Thanksgiving. What's on your mind?
Hi, Dominic. I think I got some very good insight, which you haven't heard on the news by anybody. There's actually first party to what happened after the Afghani debacle of Biden and his illegal dispatching of these knuckle brains from Afghanistan. By the way, I'm a veteran, too. I'm a retired immigration service officer, but I'm also a combat veteran and served in Afghanistan at that exact airport where all those people got killed, those soldiers and service members were killed. But the thing that I called about that I should give you some insight about, which is good for what happened, when they brought these people from Afghanistan, totally unvetted, we didn't know who the heck they were, no reason whatsoever to bring them. They brought them down to Fort Dix, and a lot of my colleagues, I refused to do it because I knew better, agreed to do it because it was some ridiculous overtime. They were working 7 days a week. And they were just rubber stamping these knuckle brains into the country. Now, I'm a bit objective about this stuff, so I knew what was going to happen. I told my wife, I told my family, I told my colleagues, I said, this is going to turn out to be another 911. We're setting this up, okay? So now we're starting to incrementally see this. This is happening with all these individuals that they've allowed in. And, Dominic, this is the start of this. This knuckle brain is the start of this. They let hundreds of thousands of them come in on those C-17s, totally unvetted, okay? They came in, and then Mayorkas, directing these field directors like the one we have in Newark, this idiot that we had down in Newark, they couldn't wait to get down there, and they actually were working down there. Our boss from Newark was down at Fort Dix vetting these people. It wasn't vetting. It was rubber stamping. One of my colleagues actually said he couldn't stand it anymore. He said he knew it was completely bogus, and he said he got off the mission. That's what they did to the United States of America, Dominic. I'm not making up this story, okay?
So I don't think you are. Why do you think a president would do something like that?
Because, well, Joe Biden, as we know, was not a full mind and cognitive function, but Mayorkas was. Mayorkas wanted to bring all these people in, making an assumption that they would eventually be Democrat voters. I don't necessarily believe that to be true. I don't believe. Remember something about Afghanistan, Dominic. 90% of Afghanistan, I'm not making this up either because I actually worked this when I was downrange, when I was in Afghanistan. I'm a retired lieutenant colonel. 90% of Afghanis were illiterate, okay? So you brought a bunch of illiterate people into the United States of America that will never be able to read or anything else. This is what they gave us. Now, when we were there, we were going to let our interpreters that were really good, that worked with us for 4 or 5 years, you could sponsor them. And then even them, they weren't that good. Not all of them made the grade. Okay. But at least they work with the American people. The people you saw on the C-17s, they didn't even have seats on those C-17s, those aircraft. That was an illegal flight. They just let them
Well, one thing, no. Because they don't have seats, that doesn't make it illegal. I've traveled on those planes. They normally install the seats. But I agree with everything else that you said. I'm late for a break, so I have to step in there. Folks, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to do another short segment on another topic, and then we're coming right back to and thank you for that great call, Steve. We're coming right back to your telephone calls.
The Dominic Carter Show
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
And I am looking at my Twitter at my ex, the lovely DMS. She just posted this, and this is how terrorists, unfortunately, this is how they win. She says, Dom, I looked for Mamdani's statement too, right? So I'm not the only one. That was the first thing I did. Folks, so I tell you, I take between the daytime show, the nighttime show, I take a nap, and I have to take a nap so that I'm fresh. And I went to sleep depressed over what happened in D.C. I woke up depressed over what happened in D.C., whether or not these soldiers are still alive. They're still fighting for their lives. Let's hope and pray for the best. I'm going to get back to DMS's statement in a second. And again, when I went to sleep, and I'm not ashamed to admit this, I say, God, please give me the words. I've got a broadcast. And because what I really want to say, and I'm going to say it, this man from Afghanistan, is he even a human? I mean, let's keep it real, folks. Oh, how could you say that? Because look at how they live. Look at how they live. Why do you think they don't even want to live there? Look at how, is he even human? Look what they do to their own people. They're right up there with the Hamas savages. And so I'm on from 3 to 5 today for 2 hours. Post Nerdly has Thanksgiving off. And I'm praying for God to give me the words. I don't know what to say. They're already here. The terrorists are here. President Biden needs to be ashamed of himself. Mayorkas was only doing what Biden wanted him to do. They're all puppets working for the president. That's any administration. That's any administration. They're puppets for the White House. You do what the White House tells you to do or you're gone. It's as simple as that. So that's the bottom line. But I'm here and I'm like, okay, I'm going into the show. I'm going to be a little tired. And now it's 2 hours and I'm thinking I'm talking turkey, parades, football, a little politics. Lighthearted, us being together as a family on the radio, people that may not have loved ones. And this person who's not even human in my book made sure that he ruined Thanksgiving, or at least took our mind off of the positives of Thanksgiving. So DMS says, I looked for Mamdani's statement too. The shooter's an Islamic jihadist. He won't speak against him. What made me nauseous was the speed of Biden's statement. Made me think he was quick to cover to avoid the inevitable blame. I live on 12th Street and with 8th Avenue in sight, and there has been a half a dozen or more of NYPD specially fitted out vehicles that have flown up 8th Avenue. It puts my stomach in a knot. This is how, and DMS, I want you to feel great and have a great Thanksgiving, but this is how these terrorists win. They come from these countries. They're not even human. Look at how they live. I mean, I'm speaking from the heart right now. Normally I wouldn't say this. Live in huts, the animals live better than they live, and they die to get here so that they can poison America. It is simply ridiculous, and it has to stop. We've got to find a way to stop this. We've got to take a tough love approach. No, you can't come here. No, stay where you are. Period. End of story. We'll see what happens later on today. The Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, international in scope. Hopefully everything goes well. Pray for these two soldiers. Let's pray for their families, and God bless America. I'm back 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks for listening to The Dominic Carter Show. You can hear The Dominic Carter Show weekdays at 3 p.m. and Monday through Thursday at midnight and Sunday starting at 11 p.m. on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?